Hello and welcome to the Views Club. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make 1 dozen tortillas with butter shortening. This has been a highly requested recipe for me because last time I made you guys do some work. Like, I'm so proud of all the people that made those tortillas. It is a very popular video here on my channel. So let's go ahead and get to it. Before we get started, I want to let you guys know that this recipe does not have baking powder. If you guys are looking for a recipe for baking powder, I don't have one out yet, but I will if you want me to. It is not my favorite one to make, but I will make anything that you guys request me to do. So let's go ahead and get started. You're gonna need 2.5 cups of flour, and this is gonna be really important because I tried making it the other day with bread flour. I'm gonna throw myself on the floor. You don't even know the hassle to stretch tortillas with bread flour. It was, I had bought a big sack at Costco, which usually works for my other baking goods, but for the tortillas, especially with the butter shortening, it wasn't happening. So now that I've said that, okay, I had to vent about it. It was a struggle. Let's get started. Cups of all-purpose flour. I use the gold medal flour, and if this is your first time making tortillas, I definitely say pay a little bit of extra money for it because it's gonna make a difference and it's really gonna get you in a happy mood. All right, I'm gonna be using Crisco shortening, and this is the butter flavor because a lot of you guys asked me for a recipe with butter and with shortening, and with this one, I get them both done. I'm using Himalayan salt for these tortillas. I'm out of my other one, but one thing that I do want to let you guys know when you're making your tortillas, that you know how salty your salt is. And for some reason, this big pack of Himalayan salt that I purchased, I don't know what it is, but it's not salting enough. So I have half a teaspoon, and I kind of added a little bit of a big pinch to it. But on your end, I want you guys to taste your salt, and if it's really salty, go with half a teaspoon, and if it's kind of like, I'm not too sure, add a little bit of a sprinkle because that either make or break the flavor in your tortillas.
If you had regular salt, how much would you put in there?
It's half a teaspoon.
For sea salt?
For sea salt?
Or regular salt?
It's half a teaspoon.
Okay.
Because when I use the regular table salt, it's only half a teaspoon. But then if you're gonna use sea salt, it's very coarse, so I can't give you that amount. I say grind it down, you know, grind it, and then add it to your portion. But other than that, I think that you guys are going to be very successful with this recipe, so let's go ahead and do some work. First, your shortening and your butter, we're going to break it down with our flour. Oopsie. You guys already know me. Salt. So start breaking it down, blending it, incorporating it with your flour. It's okay if you get messy because this is going to go on our counter anyways. Shout out to my sister for helping me wipe my counter today.
Hello. I did some stunts today.
She's stunts. She's doing stunts, everybody. You know, I'm very blessed to have a super supportive family. I know some of you guys were concerned that my husband just makes me cook and clean all day, and that's totally not the case in my house. I cook because it makes me happy and because I love feeding my family and I love sharing with you guys.
I'm so weirded out when you say that because Robert's such an angel.
Yeah, he really is. He's a
helpful.
sweetheart.
Yeah. He
He is a sweetheart. Thanks, babe. And yes, guys, he does watch every video. Okay, once you've incorporated all of your shortening in the flour, that's when you want to add your hot water. And your water is going to be as hot as you can handle it, but for safety reasons, I say keep it lukewarm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my first cup of water and I'm going to pour it in. If your water isn't warm, it's going to change the dynamic of the flour. See, I already had 1 cup and 3/4 here ready, okay? But what you're gonna find out is that when I use the bread flour to make these tortillas, I needed a lot of water. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get my handful. That ends up being like maybe about 1/4 of flour. And you're gonna see that when you use the shortening, it's a little bit stickier, okay? But you're still gonna have to do some work for this little portion, guys. So start pressing it down. And once you see that it starts getting a little bit harder and tough, you just move some of the flour away. It's been interesting for me to learn to give exact measurements in portions, and just want to let you guys know that I'm here for you. I get the struggle because I face it with my mom for certain of recipes that she has, that she's created. And she's like, le pones de esto y el otro and this and that. And I'm like, ay. So, it's work in progress. So right now you're gonna have your dough sticky. You're gonna be like, I need to add more flour. Don't. You gotta work this piece of dough right here. You gotta teach it, you gotta tell it what to do. So we're gonna work it for a good 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to press it down, okay? Press it, and look at it, kind of just smears everywhere on your counter, and then you pick it back up and roll it. Press, roll. Press and roll. And if you guys see my baking or anything that I have to use dough for, you see me rolling here and rolling it over there, and that's kind of what you have to do. Listen to your favorite music.
Dance a little.
Yeah. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Take a minute to smell it. Divine. So, so good. This is one of those recipes, no matter in how much shape you are, that you want to huff and puff a bit, because that's how you know you're working it. Okay? Shout out to all the Views Club Junior, all the kids watching with your grandmas and your moms and listening and following directions. Good job, guys. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Okay, so once you notice that your dough is getting soft, really soft, give it a good squeeze, okay? Because we're gonna work it till it's not sticky like that. If you notice, I haven't added any flour to this. We still have it right there on the side waiting.
Your technique of kneading hasn't changed since you were a little kid.
It hasn't? The same?
Still knead the same. It's kind of cool.
Because I push it out and then bring it in. Push it out and bring it in. I just don't know why I get so much grief, guys, for not using baking powder. I get a lot of grief for not using baking powder, but I'm not baking my tortillas, so I don't need it. If you get to this part and you're still feeling a little sticky, just stick your hand one time, because it's not a lot that you need to get it together. I don't want you to just go and like pile a whole lot in there, because then you're gonna have something different than you're working with. You sometimes, like when you're adding water, you don't need that much, it's just a little bit. You guys saw that when I first added, I added all the first cup of water, and I added it because I kind of already know how to work with it. But on your end, before you add all your water, start adding it maybe 3/4, and if you get the consistency that you need to start kneading it, then you don't need to add any more water. So Views Club, to be on the safe side, start off with 3/4 cup of water. Give it a good squeeze when you think you're ready, and if it sticks, come back, some flour, and give it a little bit more. I think that's one of the things that I had a difficult time, because when I first started making tortillas with my mother, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna be ready in 3 minutes just to get it. I didn't understand like the dynamic in here.
You definitely need to be in the right state of mind, right? Like have patience and...
Yeah, you really do. If you guys have a lot going on that day, don't make the tortillas. Like save it to where you have a little bit of peace and quiet for yourself if it's your first time making them. And listen to your most favorite music. Like your heart will beat to the sound of the music, right? It always works that way, and it translates into your food. So you guys already know what I listen to, but I don't know. You guys are gonna harass me. Some people don't like country, but I do.
I'm happy you said that. I thought you were gonna ask me to cue the singing or something.
Oh, really? Oh yeah, Cloudy. Oh yeah. If you guys see my food, I listen to a lot of Midland. I do.
You should go on SoundCloud and create a playlist for the Views Club.
Oh, I should. Ooh, the cooking mix. It's good, but I need a little bit more. I know a lot of people wish like, hey, can't I just look at one recipe without having to do any details to it? The reason there's details in here, guys, it's going to vary on you. It's going to vary on your hands. It's going to vary on your water, on your flour. We're all connected and everything's moody, so we just got to get it just right. Oh, thanks, Claude.
Well, I don't know if your hands are dirty.
Oh, I'm so exhausted. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, sometimes making those 5 dozens, I shy away from it often. Okay, friends, I've been here about 6 minutes. I've worked this just to where I need it. You're gonna notice that it's a little bit sticky. It's not like when we first started, it's just slightly different. And we're dealing with shortening, butter shortening. It'll do that. Because we also want these to be super moist when we make them so that they don't turn dry for you guys. I think that's like the one thing that I can say that I learned, that like, why do my tortillas get hard? And I got a lot of those questions because we need enough moisture in here to wake up that flour, hydrate it, and do what we want it to do. So make it into a nice little ball. Put some shortening on your hands, warm it up. So once you've smothered it with a little bit of shortening, you want to cover it, whether it be, it could be your kitchen towel, saran wrap like I'm doing, like this, and keep it nice and tight. So nothing gets in here. All we're doing with our dough is we're gonna leave it here for 20 to 30 minutes. You just want it to rest so that whenever we have to do our next part, it's smooth enough and it's functional for us. So I'll see you guys when I catch my breath and in about 20 minutes. We're ready to go. Here's what we're gonna do. We're aiming for these tortillas to be about 50 to 53 grams, and we're aiming to get a dozen out of them. So let's see how we do. And if you add up the little pieces, just tuck them in under so that when we get to our next step, we're not having any complications with our tortillas, okay?
You're right.
Yeah, my big old wild hands. It's hard for me to get them like really small, you know.
I really love orangutans. Somebody comparing your hands to orangutans is a good thing.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. She's trying to throw shade, guys. Don't
You're the one that's Thor, man. You're using your hands like a hammer.
Okay, this is as close as I'm going to be able to get for you guys. I have one tortilla that's 45 grams. The other one is 46. And the rest of these tortillas are 50 grams. So you guys are going to have to kind of figure it out if you have a scale or by hand and kind of divide it into the portion that you need. I think a safe measurement for our tortilla is anywhere from 49 to 51 grams, and I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. So let's go ahead and get started with our next step. You wanna have some shortening handy and put some on your hands, okay? You wanna coat them so that while they're waiting, they're not gonna get dry, because they will dry out on you. So what you wanna do is you wanna make them into a nice little ball. You're gonna see that your counter gets a little bit of the dough and the stickiness from the shortening. It's okay, it's perfect. We have a family member that owns a tortilla factory, so I know how to make tortillas, guys. I grew up in the factory, like learning, hanging out with all the cool people. Probably where I picked up my potty mouth. If you saw, I just grabbed these because they need a little bit of extra moisture. They're looking a little bit so just get them, get a little bit more of the shortening and give it a go. That's kind of what I mean. It's like you cook off instinct, and I'm trying to show you guys and help you build your instincts. And you're supposed to feel the burn about right here on your arms. So if you don't have the burn, bless your soul.
Or that you didn't work them right if you don't have the burn.
I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to really.
I'll say it. That's the sign that you are not kneading it correctly if you're not in pain.
Okay, there we go. Let me show you right here. If you guys can see that. Do you see those little on the outside, the little ridges? So that's why I'm gonna come and give it a go. You go fast, slow, find your groove. Woo! Pick somewhere where you can place your tortillas. You can leave them on your counter with sealed, covered. I'm gonna clear this out. So I'm gonna put this in my baking dish. You guys put it on your plate, your Tupperware. Looks like that. If I'm out of breath and can't function and think properly, it's okay. So I'm gonna keep them here. I'm gonna cover them and I'm gonna let them set for 10 minutes while I clear out my area so that we can work and stretch these tortillas out. All right, it's been exactly 10 minutes. It's go time. I know you guys are ready. So am I. I want some tortillas, even though they're gonna last like a second. So what we're gonna do now is, you remember this little pile of flour we have? You wanna get your masa, your dough, press it in on the side, okay? I start pressing that side like this and giving it a slight pull. Oh, I have some crumbles for my masa. Let me divide over here. There we go. So press it in a little bit of a pull, not too much. Okay? My tip to you is, it's gonna be a struggle or it's gonna be easy depending on your rolling pin. Lately, this one's been giving me a hard time. This little magic one, it used to belong to my niece. I inherited it from my niece and it works for me for the tortilla, so let's go ahead. Push it out. And you just want it to be like a long shape, like kind of smear like this. Ready? Press it out. Same for this side. A nice stretch. Slide some flour under there. Okay. And you start. Ooh. It took me forever to get the round shape. Don't be discouraged. Even if it's a lopsided tortilla, your family is going to be happy that it's fresh. Okay, and sometimes when you bring it up, you can give it a little stretch to start shaping it. We did good today, guys. We did really good. You see that? Like even in the tortilleria, like a tortilla factory, like you still got to give it a stretch. It happens. See? I think this one might need a little bit more on this side. So while I'm gonna be stretching these tortillas out, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my cast iron so that we can hit our next step, but I'm gonna make another one for you guys. Hold on just a second. Put a little bit of flour here so it doesn't stick for me. Okay. Press, press, pinch and pull. Or press and pull, right? I think this helps for a lot of you guys that are trying to learn to make the tortillas. If you start off with a small little batch, you're not as discouraged, like, oh my gosh, they didn't come out like my mom, you know, or like my tia, or whoever's making the tortillas for you. You're gonna feel a lot better. And then we didn't let so much go to waste either. So thank you to all the Views Club for requesting a smaller portion of the tortillas. And I'm going fast, but if you have to take your time to give it a little bit of a pinch and pull, take your time. I'm not trying to be a jerk and go fast so you guys can't see. I know a lot of the times you guys tell me like the measurements it look like more. It's the angles. I don't ever want to give you guys the wrong measurement. My goal is for you guys to make good food at home, not to make you guys look like you don't know what you're doing. That's not the case for me. I want you guys to succeed in the kitchen. Okay. Get a little bit of flour so that I can lay it over here. And now I'm going to switch over to my other rolling pin. Keep an eye on your pan to make sure it's not smoky. Maybe turn it down just a bit. Okay. There we go. Yep, it was the flour, guys. The flour is going to be a huge make it or break it. See, you want it to be long like that. It makes it easier for you when you have to make the roundness of the tortilla. And if you see mine, this one's not so round, and then these two are. I'm not even gonna keep up with this one. That one, I think it's too heavy for what we need. It needs to be a little bit lighter. That's what's going on with us. So get a light rolling pin. Alright guys, we'll continue over on the pan so that we can cook these tortillas. Okay guys, so whatever pan that you're going to use or a comal to make your tortillas, you want to make sure that it's preheated so your tortillas don't stick and everything works lovely. So let me go ahead and check if this is ready. You see it disappears quickly? We're ready to go. Okay, we're going to get our tortilla and we're going to drop it from north to south, okay? Do the best you can. And this is going to cook very quickly. You don't want too much smoke coming from your pan. It's just going to be the steam that comes from the tortilla, but you don't want it to smoke up. That means that your pan's too hot. You want it just right. On the first side, and then you're going to flip it to the other. These are done like that. That second flip, that's when I press down the bubbles. Please excuse my chewing, I couldn't resist, guys. Your first tortilla is never going to be the most beautiful. I'm telling you guys that in advance. Let's go ahead and drop it from north to south. I don't want to burn myself with this cast iron. It's usually easier for me with the other one. Please be careful, don't burn yourselves. And pick a kitchen cloth and just set it to the side with it. I'm going to keep on doing these with a little bit of music for you guys so that you guys can get the technique for them from north to south. The first side's going to take about 20-25 seconds once your pan gets hot, and the second flip's going to take you about 15-20 seconds. You see that a spot didn't cook, you can just come back and press it a little bit. And you're set. Another way that you can tell is that because when you're making the tortillas, you can, as soon as your tortilla goes down, you can smell it in your house. If you can't smell it, it's because your pan's not hot enough. And if it smells like burnt, it's because it's too hot. You just gotta get it just right. All right, we're going down from north to south. Okay. I'm really not crazy about doing the tortillas in this cast iron, guys. I think if you pick your pan, pick something that's a little bit thinner on the sides. What do you call them, a griddle? Like a little pan that looks like a griddle, that'll work.
Something flat.
Yeah, something flat that doesn't have a ridge like that thick like I just picked for us. If you notice with this pan, it's difficult for me to keep the shape in a circle for the tortilla, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch it off into my cast iron. If you guys don't like vintage old stuff, you guys can skip that part. Alright, I'm gonna be back in business now that I have my good cast iron here. North to south. We're more likely to have a rounder shaped tortilla. And if I don't, I just feel more comfortable with this one. We're gonna do about 20 seconds, 20-25 seconds on this side. If you guys don't like the bubbles in your tortillas, once they come up, you can press them down for this side. So that way they're a little bit flatter for your burritos and things like that. But if you're gonna eat them to like grab your food and eat it that way, perfect. You'll see from translucent, it goes into more of the tortilla color that you're used to. And that's when we're ready to flip. See? I like, when I give it that second flip, I like messing with the bubbles and flattening them, so it's gonna be up to you. Sorry if it's a little bit loud when I do that. And then this second side's only gonna take you about 15 to 20 seconds. Smells so good in here, guys. I'm excited to see who's gonna make this this batch of tortillas, because last time you guys were quick. The cookies, you guys were so quick. I get so excited. All right, north to south. Oh, it smells divine. Yes. If you guys are looking for a little bit more details on making tortillas, I do have the regular video. I'll link it at the end for you guys. I also started a linked playlist. I have most of the recipes that I've made for you guys to look through at the end of the video as well. Alright guys, that's it for me for the tortillas. I'll see you guys in just a moment, and you'll see that the hotter your pan gets, the faster your tortillas get done too, like over a period of time. So I'll see you guys in just a moment. Ta-da! And that's how you make a 1 dozen tortillas. You know what? This was a lot easier on my back. I feel like I can still go running. I can do what I have to do today. I don't need like massage. We're doing good. So let's go ahead and give this a taste. You guys already know I was eating some. Mmm. Feels like home, guys. They're soft. Let me finish chewing. They're really, really soft. The shortening gives you more of the soft tortilla. It's gonna be, depends on how much you stretch them. That's the consistency that you're gonna get. I'm ready for some beans. I'm ready for some carnita, some meat. What do you think, Cloud?
Beans, yes.
Let's give some to Cloud.
I'm not gonna see how many I had already, but thank you for sharing.
What do you think, Cloud?
Amazing.
If you feel that your tortillas were too bland, next time you make them, just sprinkle a little bit of extra salt in them. For me, my portion was good. I did the half teaspoon with a little bit extra of salt, and they came out pretty good. So I would like to know what you guys did for your recipe. All right, guys, that's it for me. If you guys are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, please take the time to subscribe. If you're a Views Club member and you haven't subscribed, I'm gonna need you to subscribe. I have something special planned for our 100K celebration. It's gonna be up to you guys. I'm gonna let you pick between 2 recipes, and that's the one that we're gonna celebrate with. Also, if you haven't clicked that bell for notifications, it'll let you know when I upload. Since I really don't have a schedule, but I upload. But I upload almost every single day. Make sure to send me your pictures on Instagram and Twitter. I usually add them to the story, but right now I've been adding them more into the video clips on IG and also at the end of these videos. What do you think, Payo?
Good.
I want to thank you guys so much for your requests, for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye! Adios! If you see, I just saw some that didn't look too smooth, that needed a little bit of the... Where am I looking?